Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? HipHopMike live from the crib for another edition of this show that has no name whatsoever. Um, I didn't give the show a name. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna jump on Zoom and hang out with a bunch of my friends and touch base with people while we're stuck here in the cribs. And I was a fortunate guest of this gentleman that I guess is on my show. I was on his show. He does it every day. Listen, it's whether you like this mic or that mic. Myq Success is in his building. I'm in my building, and we're gonna get lit today. Management extraordinaire, baseball dad, a solid husband. Like, I mean, you name it, this guy has done it, whether it's in real life or entertainment.
Appreciate
And
it.
yeah, man, I had such a blast on doing your show the other day that I was like, let's continue the conversation and wanted to have you come through here. So thank you so much for the time.
Always. Isn't it crazy? Like when you know people, like how we know each other, and then it's like you have to do like kind of like the whole introduction type, the thank you for coming and all that. It's like, it's my guy right here. You know what I mean?
Thanks. I feel like the people know too, because it's so clear as day when I'm like not familiar with who I'm talking to, as opposed to when I'm talking to somebody like you that I'm like tight with. Be like, yeah, so my next guest is a rapper of sorts, and what's their name? Let me look at it.
Yeah. Nah, for sure.
But yeah, man, I will say this. I don't know if you prepare much for your show, but I never prepare for anything ever. Like not when it comes to interviews, at least. I prepare for plenty, but
yeah.
when it comes to interviews, I've always enjoyed kind of just going in, whether it's like I know you really well and we have talk points, or
right,
to talk to somebody that's just like I'm not familiar with and have that perspective of like the ignorant, like put me on,
Yeah, nah, I'm the same way. I prepare for life, but when I do the lives and stuff like that, I'm like whatever. Because again, I like it to be like you, bro. I like it to be authentic and organic. And it's like I'm just having a convo with people, and people be like, "Oh, what's the interview about?" I'm like, "Yo, bro, it's not an interview. I'm just gonna talk to you. I'm gonna ask you one question or two, but it's gonna flow like however. I'm the same way. I freestyle.
All about the conversations.
Exactly. Always.
So I mean, for people that aren't aware, which I'm sure a lot of people don't even know who either of us are. I do management. I guess I'm a little more like on camera because of the Hot 87 stuff and all that, but Myq Success is way more successful in major. Not just in real life, but in entertainment. My man has a full family that loves him dearly, and he prepares food for them. But he also has young Chicklet and Millennium, Instagram, YouTube, television, locker sensations.
I like that. They like to hear that.
I mean, those are just a couple of the things that they're known for. They're really like recognized everywhere and anywhere that they go. I know you guys have been doing events and pop-ups all over the world and country, and just have gotten to this place that's like outrageous. Like, yeah. I mean, the most A-list of A-list recognized Chicklet off strength, like the second you see his face.
Yeah.
How did you get into all of this, I guess, with them? Because we've spoke about it a little bit. I know that's like your nephew and but like before this, you were doing music, you were just working in
I mean, I was doing management, and I had a 9-to-5 as I was doing the management stuff, right? And it was just like, the whole hip hop industry, Mike, you know what it is. It got to a point where I'm not a shady character, right? And we know that hip hop, and I hate that that's what it is, because I love hip hop, bro. Like that's dear to my heart, you know what I mean? Because I grew up on it, and it's like, just the whole industry is just kind of shady, and especially if you are not at certain levels where you can control the narrative, you know what I'm saying? When you're on the come up, it's like, people take your stuff, they do this, do that, and it's just like, I'm just not about that, and I came in to try to change it, and it was difficult for me, you know what I'm saying? So, I got to a point where I thought we were on the trajectory. We had a show on TV, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, this is the next step. Then we're going to go after that. But after that, the rug got pulled, and it took a toll for me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, I did all this work for what? And then I left that situation, went to go find, I had another young kid that I was like working with that was dope. But like, bro, like honestly, within months, I had a breakdown. I had a breakdown, and I literally, like, I was in a meeting, and I had I got the deal for him at E1.
Okay.
What are they? They were Koch before. What is they E1 now? Yeah, E1.
Yeah.
So went in there and I had a relationship with these guys, and they were like, yo, Mike, you know, the fact that it's you, we want to work, we like him, whatever. Bro, I think a week later, I just called them because after that meeting, yo, bro, I'm talking about literally tears. And I was like, yo, I don't want to do this. Like, this is not me no more. Like, you know, I kind of felt like I was here, and then I kind of had to start at the bottom. And I was like, yo, I'm not 21-year-old Mike anymore. So, you know, I just stopped. And I kind of like literally, like I went through some stuff. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Like, for real, for real. My wife saw that. And then, you know, years upon years, I focused on, you know, being the baseball dad, and I wanted to coach my kids, and I focused on my family. And then Chicklet being my nephew, I know him since he was 9 years old. He and I have always been like I was like the cool uncle, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And we would always meet in my mother-in-law's kitchen, because that's where all the hot pot parties were and everything.
That's where the
and he
food
and I, yeah. But we would be the ones sitting in there, like, as old. I'm 20 years older than him, I think. And we just sit there kicking it. And, you know, he, you know, it's when he was in music, and he would, you know, I just was into hip hop. So was he. And it kind of just grew and grew. And then this happened. And then the first thing as far as official management was when he had to go to Tidal. They called him after he did the Duce podcast, after that Duce video that I actually posted.
Okay.
And
Fire series, by the way.
yeah, it was cool. That was cool. And what do you call it? We went up there. He said, Mike, can you? I forget how it was. Either he asked me to come to the meeting, or I said, you want me to go with you? Because it was just a natural thing. And anyway, I ended up there. We sat there, and it was the first time I was back in like a building.
On like management mode.
Exactly. And I was sitting there, and I left. And while I was there, I was like, yo, it was such a different feel, because I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so different. And I was just, I don't want to say cocky. I just felt real seasoned. I was like, oh, this is nothing anymore now for me. And when we left, nah, exactly. And Chicklet was like, yo, I didn't know what they was talking about. And he was like, yo, you want to do this?
Yeah.
You know, can you manage me? I was
and
like, bro, for you?
Official.
And it was official. And even then, it was July 17th, because he gave me like a plaque with July 17th.
Wow.
And I said, yo, for the first 6 months, I'm not taking any money. He was like, real? I said, no. I said, I don't care, relative, whatever. I'm going to show you how I get busy.
Yeah,
January, we could do paperwork, whatever we like. But the first 6 months, I just want to show you, let's just work. And that's what we did. And it's just, you know, it's been kind of like that ever since, bro. You know what I mean? And it's dope. Best situation I've ever been in.
I was going to say, I think it's very interesting. There's a couple of things that you spoke on that I want to touch on. First off, just being in the industry to some extent, I could relate to, as far as like doing what you love to do, but not necessarily loving what's happening around you. I think you said, how did you put it? Like, shady, like the shady business. It is 100% true. And anybody that's watching this, I'd assume mostly people that watch my stuff are like up and coming talent. Right. I think that people don't realize that this industry isn't necessarily a lottery win, but it's a job opportunity. So anybody that's out there that's thinking like, well, it's easy to complain or be upset about something, but you were still in meetings and you knew people. No, that's not the case at all. It's like, despite how many people you know, this situation could be like, you would know a million people, but they're all having their own agendas and doing something shady. You're not making you feel really good. And you're working from this space that's, I mean, to be honest, at least for me, the space that I was working in, as far as like having the relationships, knowing everybody, all this, was just as stressful, if not more stressful, than the situation of not knowing anybody and trying to get on.
Right. Absolutely. So, I agree with that.
I definitely think that, you know, the fact that you were smart enough to be like, you know what, I'm not going to repeat this cycle and pull back with this other person, and then kind of just go into family mode. You allowed space for things to kind of come find you, and then you could approach it from this place of like, okay, this is the relationship with the talent that I really feel like is ideal. This is, you know, something that is in demand enough that I could leverage, that I'm not looking for much out of it outside of just to do something that's like coming together, and there's all wins all around.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's important important for people to hear, because especially even honestly for me to hear, because I'm coming off of something similar, but I haven't, obviously, like, I don't have a family, so I haven't kicked into family mode, but I've
So
kicked
right,
into self-love mode. And, you know, being at Hot 97, for example, it wasn't necessarily the job for me. It's not that it can't be a good job for some people,
right.
but like for me in particular, I never really enjoyed the camera stuff. I never really loved, like, playing the same stuff, doing the same breaks, promoting these concerts. I always kind of love to have my filthy mouth and talk my shit, right?
Right.
And it just wasn't the circumstance for me. So I think it's dope to see now where you're at with it, because I mean, even speaking on, going to that title meeting, it's like you're going in there without a care in the world, not having the agenda, and you're doing something that you love, but also working at, like, you might love baseball, but you don't love the Mets, and next thing you know, you're drafted to the Mets. It's
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
think the fact that you kind of were able to just get yourself situated and then find a situation or have a situation come to you, like with Chicklet, that is in the realm of management, but taps into these other avenues, is definitely more mature than hip hop. That I could say clear as day.
Yeah.
I think situations come into your life if you really put that focus on yourself. Would you agree?
Nah, 1,000%, bro. Because like I tell my wife all the time, because he's my nephew through marriage. So I know Chicle since he was 9, right?
Hands.
and what do you call it? It's like, I tell people, like, I am in the best situation that I've ever been, right? And I'm 45. Do I wish I was here at 22? Absolutely. But I don't know if I could get here at 20. For me, my story, like I talk about it. I have chapters, you know what I'm saying? So mine took a little bit longer.
Not for nothing though, if you would have got there at 22, who's to say that, like, your personal mentality would have, like, this could have stressed you out, is what I'm trying to say. Like,
Absolutely.
because the timing is also very important. I don't think people realize that also. Like I've always said with Lil Pump, for example, the money is his test. Some of us are tested with, like, our patience. Some
Mhm.
people are tested with, how they handle situations, with their anger, or with, like, being aggressive, but other people, it's like they're given all these things just to see if they're going to double down. Like Lil Pump, are you going to double down on your spending habits, your drug habits, or are you going to make the most of this money? So,
Yep.
I mean, the success, it might come for him at 45, and it might not look anything like millions in the bank. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Success is always different to people. Like I always say that to people. Like it's, I can't tell Mike what success is to him. He has his own vision. And I have a vision, but I can't put my vision on him. Like you said, working at Hot 97, somebody would probably be like, yo, that's amazing. Even when I was talking to this cop the other day, like, getting a police officer job, working for NYPD, maybe for that person was amazing. It's like, oh, I got a pension, I'm going to be good. And that's fine. But even when I had my 9 to 5, when I was in the Bronx and I would come on the subway, I'd come back and they'd be like, once I got the job, oh, you're good. Pension or whatever, and it's cool. But it's just that I have other things that I want to do. Doesn't mean that I'm better. I just have a different path that I want to go on, and it took me a little bit longer. But success is different. Success is a family. Success could be, whatever. But we all determine what success is. It's not what everybody else thinks it is. You know what I mean?
Well, that's honestly my next question for you, is like, what would you determine success as now versus success at 22, for example? Like, getting into management, obviously, you had the thoughts of, like, I enjoy the music industry, I want to be in it.
Yeah.
What was that looking like then, as far as, like, what, like, maybe you thought, oh, if I just met Carmen Electra tomorrow and got into a relationship, this is gonna be great, and then next thing you know, she's stealing all your money.
Yeah. No, back then, bro, like, honestly, if I keep it 1,000, like, I wanted to be Puff. Like, that was me. Okay, I was, even on my block, you know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, Puff Papi instead of Puff Daddy. You know what I'm saying?
You remember why though? Like, what was it? Was it an ego thing? Like, was it?
No, it was all about, because I'm a former dancer.
Okay.
So that was kind of like, I was like, damn, this dude used to dance for Father MC. Like, that's me. And then I see what he does. And I've been around business, you know what I'm saying, for years.
Okay.
My grandmother had a bar for 40 years in the Bronx. And it's like, my mom, I was around business and music, and it was beautiful for me. So the fact that he went from art to business, I think that's why, for me, I understand artists, so like watching that and seeing all of his success, I was like, yo, that's dope. I had an ear, and I was like, that's just what I want to do. And then especially it was the shiny suit. That was like, I was so that, You know what I mean? Shiny suit guy, you know, I want to do this. I want to be in the video. I want to do that. I still want to have a slow-mo shot in a video right now, 45.
And you definitely still need a shiny suit. I don't know. Don't give up that dream ever.
No. But that's what it was about for me, you know? And now it's funny because like, even in this, you know, as we were going, you know, more success and more success, even with the hostings in the beginning, we didn't have anybody like the money wasn't there for us to say, hey, we're going to, you know, you road manage and you'll get this for that. Mm-hmm. So this is 2 years. So 43, 44, being in clubs at 2 a.m, 1 o'clock in the morning. And there was nothing about yes, my wife probably wasn't happy about it, but I didn't even want to be in the scene anymore. Like, yeah. And there, it's not like I was enjoying myself, bro. I was like this, drinking water. I would never, when on hostings, I never drank any alcohol. I was drinking water and like this. And it's just
no shiny suit and diddy bopping.
No, not at all. But it's like, I gotta protect, you know, not that I'm a big person like that protect, but make sure that we're good. Make sure everything is, you know, all that going smooth. So, you know, when we were able to get finally, hey, somebody you can go on the road, you know what I'm saying? You go, I'll handle all the negotiations or whatever. This is what it is. I didn't have to be in that setting anymore. So to me, it's not so much about the flash anymore. Me, it's about being able to do, like, in my travels, when I can connect with somebody for baseball, like I can connect my son. You know what I'm saying? Even something was great, like when you was on Hot, the fact that you was able to give shout outs for birthdays, like that means everything to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need any of that, but it was cool. You know, we developed a relationship, so we was able to do that. So everything is about my family now. I bust my ass because I want to provide for them. I want my grandkids, like my biggest thing is now my grandkids that aren't even here. I want them to be like, yo, grandpa did his thing and we're able to have this. You know what I'm saying? So where it was very selfish at 22, now it's more about, and I want to build and I want to help. That's why I do what I do, is helping the younger generation. That's what I'm about. For real.
You feel free not to answer this one, but when did you have the family, and like when did that become something that was, because for me personally, like, you know, obviously I don't have a family or anything, but I've kind of taken that same approach of like, you know what, I don't want to be Puff anymore. I'd want to be more like yourself with the family, with, you know, not that having Puff's money wouldn't be amazing for both of us, but like, you know, ultimately there's a lot of sacrifice that comes with that, obviously. And I mean, we've seen it very publicly with Puff, the stuff that he's went through with his family and with the relationships. And, you know, I'm at the point now, I think, as I turned 30 this year, that you know, the girls and the money and all, it's great, but not at the expense of like your own personal sanity and respect and well-being. Was it mainly the family that changed that, or was there something within you that changed that kind of led to you meeting the wife or deciding to have the kids?
I don't know if it was really one thing. Like, I mean, and I know and this is funny, I know my wife since she was 16. We were friends first. Like, I just knew her. Like, I thought she was a lot older. We had a conversation and she was like, yeah, I'm a graduate. And I was like, oh, what college? She was like, college? Graduate high school. I was like, what? I was like, all right.
Wait, you shoot your shot.
But because we did it, how we did it, it was the Puerto Rican way. You know, we had kids first and then got married.
Put me on. Had kids first, then got married.
Yeah, no, but it's bro. To be honest with you, I don't know, because I believe I was 28 when I had a kid, and we had our own issues. You know, it was difficult, and I don't know. It might have been a mental shift. It wasn't an age. It was just like I just got tired. You know what I mean? Like, I just got tired. Like, I didn't want that. Like, I didn't want any of that. Like, I come from a very good, you know, I had some hectic spots in my life growing up, but I have a great family. You know, I have stepfather, stepmother. Like, I have a cohesive unit. So that foundation was important. That got me, because once I fell, I came back and.
Yeah, the epiphany and just.
Yeah, it was just, you know, and I just said this because I was like, even when we weren't married, I had told her, you know, again, I was still immature in the beginning, but it got to a point, I don't know if it was around 30, I don't know, but it was just like, yo, this is it. And I'm nowhere near at when I was 30. Today, it's, you know, because now I have however many years that is, 15, 16 years from that point where I'm like this. And that's why, like, honestly, bro, listen, guys are guys and all that. That's cool. But that's not important to me. Like, females and all that, yo, I don't care about it. Bro, it don't matter. I've been there, done that. It's not a thing. I'll never sacrifice. My family is the most important thing to me. So I don't care what it is.
With somebody like Chicklet or with Chicklet and Millenny that are basically family but clients too, how do you approach that, and how much different is it than how you used to approach just people who were strictly clients?
Well, it weighs more because there's love there. And it's not even just he's my nephew. Like, I look at him like a son. So it's like, there's so many levels to it, because I'm sure, like, even with Davis, you're a therapist sometimes. You're an ear for somebody to speak to.
It is a catch-22 though. And with me and Davis specifically, like, because that's like a brother, right, in a sense.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There are times I think that maybe I might be taken for granted in the sense of, like, I mean, okay, I could get away with certain things because the love is there. Would you say it's the same, and how do you manage that?
Well, I think that's the same. I think that's just in relationships in general. When you're close with somebody, my mom used to always say, you always shit on the people that are closest to you. I can curse, right?
Yeah. You talk all the shit you want, Mr. Myq Success.
But you shit on the people that you're closest to, because in some way, you know, they're not going anywhere. And sometimes it's like you treat people that are not close to you a little bit better because you're afraid of them going somewhere. You know, it's weird like that. So it's like that. I can understand that 1,000%. And the thing is that even me and Chicklet, we'll sit there and it'll almost be a switch sometimes. Like, we know it now, but it'll be like, all right, this is Uncle talking. So we'll talk like this or whatever. All right, hold on a second. You know, like, now the joke, because I got glasses on, I'll put it on. Okay, this is Manager Myq now.
Manager Myq mode.
But it is difficult. That's why, like I said, management, you know that. Management is a selfless job. Everything got to be about you. Right. We have to make sure that they're okay and everything wrong. And if they fell asleep and they didn't get up and they didn't, that's you. You know what I'm saying? But
we spoke about it on your show, and I'll mention it because I mention it all the time. But I watched a Complex interview with Scooter Braun where he said that, you know, his dad was the basketball coach and the wins were the teams and the losses are the coaches. And, like, it's the truest statement when it comes to management, because, you know, if it's a good day, it's like they're having a good day. If it's a bad day, it's like you're having a bad day.
Yeah, no, I saw that. That was a dope interview.
Yeah, it was very insightful. But my thing for you is, like, with days being like this, with, you know, the business constantly having to be done, and, you know, even when Chicklet and Millenny aren't, you know, I guess your kids in a sense, you still have kids and a family. How do you, like on a self level, how do you approach all of this? Or are there things that you could do or that you do to be, like, you know, clear-minded to approach everything? Like, is there a day that you take to yourself? Is there a drive that you go on, a walk you go on? Like,
well, I try to. It's like now is different than obviously when life was normal. Now I do my videos in the morning and I stay in the car for probably about an hour. Okay. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a start my day. I get that out, and then I come back and come into, you know, whatever I need. And it's funny, me and my wife were just talking about that, because it's very different now, you know, but I'm home. That's why, like, I'm so happy that I can do everything and still be home. And, you know, my kids are right there. My wife is right there. It's difficult sometimes because I am home, and it's like, you know, it's just the space, you know what I mean? It's uptown, downtown, we call it here in the house. You know what I mean? So, you know, my wife has things that she likes to do. I have stuff than the kids, you know, so the shower is huge for me. That's like my office, bro. I'm telling you, like, that's like my office. I just sit there and it's just, you know, half hour or whatever, and just kind of cleanse. But I pray every day. I talk, like, you know, I'm real spiritual, bro. So it's like every time I take a shit, that's when I pray, is in the shower. And I talk to my grandmother who passed. I pray, like, it's just kind of like that. I don't want to say the woosah moment.
Nah, but it's very Wim Hof of you, I'll say, because, I mean, I watch a lot of that stuff, and, you know, the dude Wim Hof, he's always talking about, you take a cold shower, whatever, you do the breathing, whether it's cold or hot, forget it. Yeah. But it's like, it's a time that you can't be on your phone, you can't be on your laptop, you can't take calls.
Yep.
And it's like, what better place to get space when you have all of these things that are happening around you?
Yeah. So when I get an office, I'm definitely having a shower. That's where my ideas come from. It gets so creative. I'll be like, yo, bro. And it's so funny. I'll be like, I was in the shower, I was thinking about you. He's like, yo, hold on a second. I'm like, yo, bro, you know what I'm talking about. Let me get it out.
That's it. Yeah, but don't be one of these guys that has the iPad in the shower. That
No,
next.
no, 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 no. That's not.
Did you
No.
watch Curb Your Enthusiasm by chance?
I love that show.
You see, he doesn't let him use the bathroom.
I love that
It'll
show,
be your
bro.
shower at your office.
I love that show.
I will mention too on your show you spoke about writing things down, whether it be like repetitive and all that. But real quick, because I have Lil Jufu, I'm gonna be doing an interview with in a few, but I did want you to like kind of break that down for people that are tuned in, because I think it's so important to write things down to really keep track of them.
Yeah, like so every day, like what I do is I write down what I have to do every single day as far as a schedule, and that keeps me, on point. Like I said, my life is the schedule. But I also write down the same things over and over again every single day. I don't write it 100 times like Bart Simpson on a chalkboard. See, you could date me now. You see, I'm so.
I will not.
Yeah.
I will not mess with the teacher.
Yeah, but no, like there's things like one example is like we want to buy a house, so I'll write work towards a house. Like that's every single day.
Okay.
Every single day. Even when we did the Hulu deal. Prior to that, I was writing. It was sponsored content. Like there's certain things that I just write every single day because I think exactly. I'm all about manifestation, and again, putting it in a note in your phone is cool. That's one part of it, but you don't see it. It's not an everyday thing. When you open up that book and you write it, you know what I'm saying? As many senses as you can use. That's what I'm about. Sight, feel, you know what I'm saying? Like as many senses, and even if you speak it, you're speaking it, you're hearing it. The more senses you can use about what you're trying to do, the better. And sometimes it sounds corny, but it works. It works.
It definitely does, man. And I love it. And it's clear as day why you are Mr. Myq Success, why you are successful, sir.
I appreciate it.
Much love, man. I wish I had more time to chop it up with you, but we definitely dropped mad gems in here.
It's all good, bro.